Now, speaking of Mick Garris, we've done movies by him earlier. He's done a lot of horror. Sleepwalkers. He did the story for Batteries Not Included, which is one of my favorites, but he wrote...
I love that movie.
He wrote and directed Critters 2. He did the screenplay for The Fly 2. But probably, your favorite one is wrote and directed Hocus Pocus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if he's involved in the new one that's supposed to be coming out soon. I don't think he is.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't remember. But yeah, he's done some good stuff.
He has. He's done a lot of things, and both television and movie-wise.
Once Norman kills his mom and the boyfriend, though, then we just have to wrap up the frame story, and that's what it feels like. Yeah. And it wraps up quickly. And
is it though? Is it quickly?
Well,
conceptually it's quick.
I don't know.
It sure goes on for a while.
He tells the radio lady that he's going to kill his wife. Why? Because she let herself get pregnant. Oh my God. And he's very angry about it because he told her from the beginning that they could never have kids because he didn't want to pass on his evil seed or some shit like that. But she is pregnant and he's going to kill her. And the radio lady's like trying to beg him not to, trying to keep him on the phone. But he eventually hangs up and he calls his wife and tells her, don't come home, even though I've been preparing this meal for the last 2 hours. Don't come home. Meet me at my mom's house.
He's so shady. He is super shady with her from the phone call all the way up to when she arrives, and he's like manhandling her, and he's being coy, and he's like just kind of like pulling her up to the house, and she's just kind of going along with it. I just don't understand why this woman who knows his history wouldn't be more alarmed.
Yeah, she knows who he is. Come meet me at my mom's house. Your mom's house where you killed all those people? Thank you, no. Like, I don't think so.
Grabs her by the arm. They go into this cobweb place. So it looks like nobody's been in there for decades. He hauls her upstairs to show her something. Then he goes into the cabinet where she had locked him in, and I guess he had planted a knife in there, like hidden in a secret compartment. And maybe it's something from the sequels. I don't know.
Who knows?
But then he whips around with a knife in his hand, and she just stands there like... This woman can't run, doesn't run for anything. It's your typical,
but I love you.
Kind of standing there. He gets right up in her face. I know, Norman. I know you're better than this. And then covers his eyes for a minute, like rubs his eyes for a second, at which point she inexplicably decides, now's my moment to get out of here. So she runs away. And then he removes his hands from his eyes. He does like an almost comical, what? Double take. Like, where did she go? And starts chasing her. Oh, God, that was so poorly staged. I laughed out loud.
I don't even remember.
Oh, God, it was so funny. He just chases her all around the house. And this is when it gets really dumb. Because, like you said, eventually he chases her down to the basement because we got to revisit the basement, right?
Mm-hmm. The rocking chair, right?
With that chair and all that the mom used to be in. He's got her cornered. He's going to emerge. She manages to go outside, but then, I don't remember, he comes out of the cellar and then pulls her back in or something. It's all really...
I don't remember.
It's all really, really hard to believe, but...
All I remember is he gets her up against a wall or something, like he's got her pinned, and he puts the knife up like he's going to cut her throat or stab her, and he sees his own reflection, and she's like, yes, look, it's you. Look at yourself. You're not a killer, and the baby won't be either. And then she says, no more blood, Norman, please. So he drops the knife.
And they embrace.
And they embrace, and he's like cured now. So then he burns down the house, but then while he's in there, he's confronted by his mother, Olivia Hussey, and then all of the other people he's killed in this movie. Right? I really wish that he had been confronted by victims from the previous movies too, even if they had to recast, because it just felt weird to me. Like I want to see Marion Crane, like I want to see her naked with wet hair.
Oh, I know, me too. I wouldn't have minded that at all. But like,
anyway,
but it's just so silly. Like at this point, it is total cheeseball territory. I think this sequence looked a lot better on paper. And conceptually, it's kind of cool. He's burning the house down where it all started, destroying the last vestiges of his mother, But on the way out, he's being confronted by the ghosts of those other people, and he almost gets trapped inside. I mean, I like the idea, but God, the way it's staged and the way it plays out on the screen, he's mugging for the camera at moments.
Yeah,
And it's
definitely.
so slow. I mean, this seemed to go on for 10 minutes. But he makes it out, and they embrace, and
Yeah, and he gets out. Yeah, and he says, "I'm free." and then we get a shot of the rocking chair in the basement still a rocking, and I think we hear the mother's voice like, "Let me out of here."
Yeah.
And then you hear a baby crying, and then the credits roll. Like this, we didn't talk about Olivia Hussey enough. Her role in this movie is a little one note.
yeah.
I certainly wouldn't say that, like, oh my gosh, this is, if you want to see Olivia Hussey really acting, check this
No,
out.
there's
No,
not range here.
it's kind of one note, but it's
not her fault.
It's hysterical.
It's so funny.
I say hysterical in both ways of that word. Like, she's hysterical, like she's insane. Like, you can't predict who she's going to be or how she's going to act in any given moment. And she's crazy, but it's also hysterical to watch. And it's not played for comedy, I don't think. I do think that all of them knew what they were doing with the melodrama,
Yes.
especially her and Anthony Perkins. I think that Henry Thomas plays it straight. And for the most part, they all do. But I think they were aware of the melodrama of the story, and they allowed themselves to give heightened performances.
Yes.
And I think that it was the right choice. This is a fun movie to watch. It's not a great movie. It feels a little bit TV. You can tell it's kind of got that TV movie feel about it, which is fine with me. But the fact that the original actor reprises his role, and you get backstory, the answers to questions that people have had since the first movie, and the original score is back.
That was so nice.
And featured heavily and is great, and I absolutely love it. There are so many good things about it. If you come into it thinking you're going to be seeing something serious, you're going to be disappointed. But if you come in ready to have a good time, I think it's a good time.
I mean, in some ways, it's a little in keeping with the original Psycho, too. The original Psycho is a bit of a potboiler itself.
Yeah,
in fact,
yeah.
I read, and I don't really understand this, but I read that Hitchcock actually saw it as a comedy himself. He said that when he first watched the movie with an audience, they were laughing throughout. And he said to even more than he expected. And he said that was the first time that he himself had been outthought or outsmarted by the audience. Like, they didn't just fulfill his expectations, but they went even further than he thought they would. So, yeah, I mean, I feel exactly how you do. I still enjoyed the movie. It's really silly. It updates my feelings about it a little bit because I took it a little more seriously when I was a kid. And it was more scandalous to me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And it's still real icky stuff, I mean,
Yeah.
I still, as silly as the movie is, those scenes of incestuous, it's never full-blown incest, but it pretty much is. It's really
It's
uncomfortable.
suggested, yeah.
It's pretty uncomfortable. And so to that, I applaud them for, rising those emotions and pushing the envelope.
Yeah, pushing the envelope, sure.
Especially for television, especially for this time. To be honest, even though it was cable, I do feel like, it was a bit of a groundbreaking movie for its time.
Yeah.
And getting all these actors back together, having this really, really adult and kind of very taboo subject matter being portrayed by these very famous people, and I think first grown-up role for Henry Thomas himself, and one of the last roles for Anthony Perkins, unfortunately. He died a couple years after this. But I mean, he was really proud of it as well, so... I guess all around. I don't know if it's really well remembered. I know that reviews at the time were very mixed. There were a lot of people saying exactly what we're saying, and then there were people who were like, "No, it's good, it's fun." Yeah, I don't know. It's not an easy movie to find right now. Is it even showing on streaming services or anything?
I don't know.
But yeah, there you go. And obviously, Olivia Hussey, we're gonna miss her. She just really left an impression on me as a kid and as an adult.
Beautiful, talented, really cool.
She's my favorite part of Black Christmas.
Oh, she's great.
I rewatched that movie a lot. I love that movie to death, and she's fantastic in it. Olivia Hussey, we're going to miss you. Well, thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed it, please share it with a friend. You can find us online just by Googling us, Two Guys and a Chainsaw Podcasts. We are all over the social media channels, and of course our website is there. Leave us a message. Let us know what movie you're looking forward to us doing for the coming year. It's not too late to get those Easter suggestions in, so, that and St. Patrick's Day. We got Valentine's Day on lock. Anyway, thank you so much for your support, and until next time, I'm Todd.
And I'm Craig.
With Two Guys and a Chainsaw.